Hello everyone, this is Callie Baird of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for May 29th through June 4th of 2022. This is the week where you may start to finally pick up some clues around whatever has been on your mind and heart lately, okay? It's a personal week with Mars conjuncting Jupiter, which is a huge new beginning, a new moon in Gemini, which always illuminates some new options and opportunities. Mercury goes direct, which will also give you some clues about what the next step will be. And the only thing is at the end of the week with Saturn going backwards, so we can review the reality. But some very key information may come forward in the next week or two. So prepare yourself, be open and receptive, right? It kicks off on Sunday the 29th with Mars initiating a whole new cycle with Jupiter. This is an excellent energy if you are beginning a new project or business because you will have considerably more energy than usual. So direct it consciously and use it wisely. Do not take unnecessary risks, but calculated risks are actually well supported for a positive outcome under this influence. You will be optimistic and willing to do whatever it takes to facilitate progress. At the same time, if you are not initiating something and perhaps are struggling on one level or another, then watch your temper as things may appear worse than they really are. Deep breath. This is a huge dose of truth and passion. Direct it consciously and you will accomplish great things in a short amount of time. Mars has a 2-year cycle and Jupiter has a 12-year cycle, so meeting up in the same sign is special. The sign becomes the magic ingredient to take note of. In this case, 2022, they are connecting in Aries. And the last time they initiated here was 2011, but before that, it goes all the way back to 1975. The next time will be 2047. So think about that. 22 and 12 years will be 34, and another 12 years will be around 46, 47. So 2 whole Jupiter cycles before they get back together in Aries. So this is special, and this is a big opportunity for your Aries area of life, which is the house that you have your Aries energy. And if you have any planets in Aries, Libra, or Cancer, Capricorn, then it's also going to stimulate them by default. Not to mention that it is automatically a new cycle when Aries kicks in. Mars in its home placement where it is strongest is so useful for the individual to get some clarity of purpose. Jupiter in Aries is expanding our consciousness and asking us to improve this department of life. Lean into the expansion of whatever narrative you are currently living. Whatever you're doing, think a little bigger, deeper, and more expansive. This can be a brand new cycle of sovereignty, independence, and freedom, but you have to be able to hold your own structure to a certain degree. This is a special opportunity to reclaim a sense of self-value and identity if your consciousness is in the right place. These two will inevitably link up with Chiron as well, so any self-healing, self-education, or personal soul work that you can do will be anchoring a much larger cycle going forward. Remember, self-preservation is not selfish, but essential. So take advantage of the once in 2 years to reset your identity and purpose with Mars, and use the once in 12 years to reset what you believe to be true or possible for you, the individual, with Jupiter. Deep breath. This is a big one, y'all. At a minimum, we're starting a new 2-year cycle, maximum 12. So anything in between is covered. That is Sunday. Monday is our Gemini new moon. This new moon can activate some radically new ways of thinking, learning, and expressing. How we process information and what we allow into our individual field of resonance, into our personal space, or into our own consciousness. Now that the collective field is infinitely open, you are encouraged to fortify and rely on your own filters, boundaries, and systems for living. It is time to live your own truth within the context of the larger collective truth. Gemini always activates the lesson of choice. And now that we have so many choices, some more than others, of course, we have to have a way of making the best choices for self. The way to do that is to strengthen and fortify the head-heart connection. Allow the head to present the variety of choices and the possibilities therein. Then proceed to the heart to sign off on what feels true and right for you personally. Anything good for you is usually good for all, so think with your heart and set intentions for a new level of learning, awareness, and energetic exchange with others going forward. That's new moon in Gemini, powerful new beginning. Also really good for new ideas. Like I said, we're coming out of the Mercury retrograde. We are right smack in between the beginning of the year with Venus retrograde and the end of the year with Mars retrograde. So these are kind of the biggies, resetting our consciousness in various ways so that we can make some new choices and start to build on them as well. Friday, June 3rd, Mercury goes direct. I love it. In Taurus. It will be in Taurus until June 13th, so that's about 10 days before it gets back to Gemini and keeps on moving forward. It is finally going direct today. Yay! Now is the time to reflect on all that has come up in the last 6+ weeks and beyond, of course. Now is the time to consider what has changed about your ideas, thinking, or consciousness. As you make the connections and do some deeper processing of all that you've learned recently, then you can move toward the necessary embodiment as it goes direct in Taurus. Once you make up your mind, then you can start to create space for whatever you're birthing this spring season. Take some time to improve your environment, beautify yourself, raise your vibration, and recalibrate your magnetic field so that you are naturally magnetizing what is for your highest good and repelling that which is not. Okay, deep breath. So as we change our thinking and we recalibrate our ideas to be a little more magnetic so we can attract more support, and etc., this is all an important turnaround. There's things happening. There's movement this week that's very intense. Anytime planets move into new signs or go retrograde or direct, which they're all doing this week, this is powerful. Okay. The very next day, Saturday the 4th, Saturn goes retrograde in Aquarius. This is pretty much the last go round before it moves into Pisces. So this is Saturn's first time in Aquarius since 90 to 93. And today, June 4th, brings its last retrograde before it begins to move into Pisces, when we will move into very new territory. It is a good idea to get clear on what you've learned in the last 2+ years about your own reality as well as the reality of the world, and define your own terms regarding the Aquarius house issues, especially if you want to get personal. Otherwise, we all can see how a certain reality and purpose has played out and run its course since 90 to 93. On social collective levels, what have we learned? At the same time, these incredible technological breakthroughs in the 90s, which helped us connect globally, we are now facing the results of that in a way that is proving to require much more self-awareness and vigilance than we may have thought going in, right? The world has changed in ways that we can never go back, meaning you can't unknow what you know or unsee what you've seen. So how can you visualize more humans becoming more responsible stewards of Earth and more respectful of Mother, the source of all life? We can't control the rest of the world, but we can make our own individual choices, and we will have to going forward because we are stepping into a new reality and claiming a whole new purpose by spring of 2023 when Saturn moves into Pisces for the next 2.5 years, okay? So deep breath. Not to mention that Pisces is the end of the zodiac. It's wrapping up a huge 30-year cycle in the next couple of years, which means once it moves into Aries, it's kicking off a brand new 30-year cycle. So this is a lot of ending, new beginning vibe that we're still navigating, no matter what planet it is. But Saturn retrogrades every year, giving us a tremendous amount of stabilizing energy that you can direct consciously on your own behalf. Every year, Saturn asks us to clean up, clear out, and upgrade our reality in some department of life. That's usually what sign it's in. You can look to any area of your life that requires you to upgrade and fortify because it has essentially run its natural course and is more or less worn out. But you can also look to your Aquarius house and see if the areas of life it represents also may require some much needed focus and dedication. Saturn often gets our attention by creating blockages and delays, pointing out weaknesses and oversights. And during its retrograde, there are reports of folks feeling like they're being held back by the elbows. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. A better use of Saturn's amazing energy is to slow down and check in with your personal base. How organized are you in general? Are you naturally focused and self-directed, or do you succeed more often when you have a structure? This is a time to develop or fortify your inner authority to make choices and decisions on your own behalf with courage and confidence. Take time to organize your thoughts or create a plan or strategy for adjusting to the changes seemingly being forced on you at this time. Start with small, manageable goals because accomplishing them will also give you the momentum and fortitude to go after the bigger goals. It's time to release fear and doubt and redefine your reality on some level, if nothing else, for the new year alone. Okay, because Saturn, a lot of the major planets go backwards every year on an annual basis. So what we say with the social collective planets and their annual retrogrades is that when they're moving forward, they're affecting the social collective, and it's a lot of other directedness going on. But when they retrograde, that energy turns inward, and we can use their energy to do some of the heavy lifting for us. And for, in Saturn's case, working on our reality, our purpose, our boundaries, and our strengths. Anywhere that you need to build some strength and fortify something, this is the time to do it during the retrograde, because then Saturn is giving you a little more personal attention. At least that's my experience. Feel free to report otherwise and let me know how it's going with you. Like I said, this week is very personal and pivotal. And if you can get any time to yourself under the sky to pray or meditate or clarify all that's sort of come up in the last 6 to 9 weeks, this is kind of a processing week as well. So do what you can when you can. Reach out when you need to. And I hope you have a fantastic week. This is Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools signing off.